What's up, everybody? It's Krista here. And today I want to talk about content. Specifically, I want to talk about having an algorithm for each platform that you want to be on. So, a lot of times people come to me and they talk first and foremost about tips and tricks to figure out the algorithm of the platform. And I'm talking about social media platforms. So, wherever you post your content, you're obsessed with figuring out the algorithm. And today I'm going to say something that maybe others haven't told you. Screw the algorithm. Just forget it. So, first and foremost, focus on producing good content. People seem to be so worried about the algorithm that they don't remember that what counts, what's the main thing, is your content. If you're producing crap, then it doesn't really matter if you figure out the algorithm, because you can get stuff distributed and you can get it in front of a lot of people with a few hacks. But if your stuff sucks, they're still not going to really engage with it or like it. So that should always be secondary. So let's talk today about how to produce good content. And then I will give you a few tips for the algorithm. If you're here for the first time, I'm Krista Milione. I'm a content marketer and a business coach. I teach business owners, content creators, coaches, and consultants how to create killer content that gets you views, that converts, and that sells. And today I'm going to tell you a few content tips because I think that content is much more important than the algorithm. Okay. So, one thing that you have to do first is create a really good brand. So people are going, let's say that you get your content in front of all these people. What are they going to do? They're going to check out your brand. What do they see? So put yourself in their shoes. The first thing they see is your picture. So my picture has confetti in the background. I've got this huge, crazy look on my face. And whatever you think about it, it gets views because it's not boring. So try to keep an image that has like a colorful background behind it. Put some big earrings on. Do something crazy just to get a little bit more pop in your image, okay? The time is over where people want to see these professional buttoned up suit and tie kind of photos from the professional headshot days. That's just not cool. So whatever your brand is, think about how you can grab attention with your picture. Show some personality in your picture, if possible, with your facial expression, with your brand, with your hair color, whatever it is your thing is, do it. That's number one. The second thing people see, of course, is your title. So the days are over when people just had a boring title like product marketer. Now we want to have a lot more going on there. Maybe a personalized hashtag, maybe something about you privately. Just give me like a little tiny slice of your personality in the headline, because that's going to increase my chances of clicking on your profile and looking at you more. Okay. And then the third thing is the content. So that's the meat of it. When I get to your profile and I'm like, you got me, I'm clicking on this, then you really have to have a good storytelling skill. And that means having a hook that gets people interested. That means breaking up your text into paragraphs. That means really focusing on your artwork to have something funny and compelling and interesting and beautiful that they can look at. And that means having a conclusion at the end of your story. So learn storytelling, because your brand is only as good as those things, right? I mean, because we don't know you yet. We don't know who you really are. We don't know what you're capable of. So show me in every way and form possible that I need to keep watching or listening or checking you out and looking at more of your stuff. I want to binge consume your content because I'm so interested in you, right? So that's another thing I have to mention. A lot of people put too much emphasis on a subject matter. They're like, I'm really into videography or photography. That's great. But remember to add your personality. So it's not just about the content itself, but also the delivery format. Come up with your own voice. That's again the storytelling technique, is to find your brand voice and really inject it into your video, into your article, whatever it is you guys do. Try to show people who you are, because ultimately one article can be interesting and informative, but if it doesn't have your personality in there, people aren't going to binge consume your content, right? And that's what I call edutainment, which I'm not the first person to use this term, very common term nowadays. So please be careful about that and make sure your content is just like that, really good. The other thing that you cannot really grow a following or go viral with is if you don't know your audience. So whatever platform you're on, really think about, is this the place where my clients hang out? Is this my target audience? And once you know that, you really have to speak their language. So figure out what they like, how they consume content, and most importantly, how do you speak to them? Because you know as well as me that when you're speaking to different types of people in different contexts, you speak differently. And it's super important that you find that brand voice for yourself and that you use it on your platform of choice in a way that your clients will be attracted to it. You don't want to please everybody. Your goal is always to find those target clients, the audience that loves what you do, right? So think about that when you're writing or when you're recording a video, right? And let's see. The other thing is you got to have a killer content strategy. Consistency is everything. So if you just come online and you post something once every month, there's nothing going to happen. What do you expect? You have to come up with a social media schedule, a calendar, and then you have to say, I'm going to drop videos on these days. I'm going to go live on these days. I'm going to post a newsletter out to everyone on this day. I'm going to do articles on this day. I'm going to do social media engagement and tweet and all that. Write it all down. And that's a social media strategy. Now, I'm going to drop in the comments a link for a social media strategy that anybody can take and you can customize and personalize it and use it. Because if it's not written down, it's not going to happen. It's not just wishful thinking, oh, I should go online and post something. You really should plan out how you're going to post it, because once you do that, your quality of your content is going to increase, your consistency will increase, so then the followers will come, and you're going to be able eventually to automate things. So there are certain pieces of content that you can pre-record and you can schedule in advance. But if you don't have any kind of strategy, you're not going to even get there. And that's where the inconsistency trap comes in, because you're going to be like, oh, this week I don't feel like it. But if you've already pre-planned it and you know my videos go out on these days, you can pre-schedule things. Yay. And that's what people are going to appreciate. That's how you get a following. So screw the algorithm. I'm going to repeat it again. The algorithm is always going to be secondary. I'm not going to say it's not important. So when I say screw it, I mean that people seem to be thinking that's everything, and it's not. Okay. First and foremost, have great content. Then another thing that you have to do if you really want to get ahead online, grow a following, convert customers, is you need to track and analyze your content. So when you post things, you should go back regularly, at least once a week, and look at your posts for that week, look at your videos for that week, and use an analytics tool. There's tons of great analytics tools. And you use an analytics tool to measure which videos or which posts or which articles did really well, and produce more content with those topics. So instead of asking people, oh, do you want me to produce this? Or do you like these? What are your problems? Actually, you can figure it out, because you'll look at your videos and you're like, okay, either I didn't post it at the right time of the day. Maybe it was a holiday. Maybe this was at a time of the day when no one is around, and I need to figure that out, or the content wasn't good. And when I say it wasn't good, it means that not enough people in your target audience were interested in that topic. So what? Just figure it out and keep experimenting and analyzing what's working and what's not. If you don't track it, You'll never know. So if you want to produce killer content, then you need to also track it and analyze it, okay? And of course, adjust based on what you're seeing, the posts that are popular, the videos that are popular. Talk more about that topic. It seems like people love that topic. Find out why and find out how you can produce more around that topic, okay? So now, secondary, I do think the algorithm comes into play. Now, that's what I'm saying. It's not the first thing, it's the second thing. What can you do for the algorithm? Let's say that you've already produced amazing content. Well, now we need to do a few little tweaks to get it sent out to more people. That's what an algorithm is for, because the algorithm looks at your content and decides, is it going to be good for your audience or not? And based on that, it may send it out more to even more people, or it may not, and it may just sit there. So our goal, of course, is to trigger the algorithm that your content is amazing and everyone in the network wants to read it. Even more people need to read it. And the algorithm keeps amplifying your content, right? So how do we do that? The first thing you need to do is optimize your content for each channel. So let's say you produce one piece of content. You can turn it into different little bites for different channels. So you can put something on YouTube, you can put something on Instagram. For every type of platform, you need to optimize it. What does it mean, optimize? Optimize means figuring out what is the length of the content, what are the rules of that content, and what is kind of like the format that you need to deliver in, right? So for Instagram, I'll do something really different than for my blog or for LinkedIn and Facebook. So for every platform, you need to be familiar with what are the content rules on that platform. Let me give you an example. Don't put links inside your posts. So if you have an exterior link that you want people to go check out, put it in the first comment and tell them in the post, check it out, it's in the comments. If you're on Instagram, that's not going to work. So on Instagram, you would have to say, the link is in my bio. And by the way, guys, a really cool tip. In Instagram, you can use a third party. One of them that I know for sure, there's a few of them, but one of them I know for sure is called Linktree. And Linktree, you can go on their website, create a plan. There's free plans and there's paid plans. And you can actually create almost like a mini website with all kinds of different links in it. And you put that in your Instagram bio. And then when you have updates, you can say, check out my Instagram bio, but you don't just have your website or one link, they open it up and it shows all kinds of stuff. So that's pretty cool, okay? But you wouldn't do that unless you knew about the platform. You knew that Instagram was different and that you can't just copy and paste the same post on different platforms. You need to tweak it and the length might be different and there's certain little things that are different, okay? The other thing is pay really good attention to the artwork, please. And that goes back to content strategy, but now particularly I'm talking about the algorithm. So for every platform, there are some kind of rules about sizing and about format and all of that. So figure out for Instagram what the artwork needs to look like, for Facebook what the artwork needs to look like, and modify the sizes so it looks beautiful. Nobody wants to look at a piece of content where the image is half cut off, the video is poorly cropped. And the reason is because it was automatically resized for that platform, but you produced it for another platform with different dimensions. It looks like crap. So please don't underestimate the importance of the artwork. It's not a detail, it's part of the visual communication and part of your content. And then another thing is to have a great title. No matter what platform you're on, everything is about scroll, 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 stop. So how do you get people to stop and look at your content? Well, they're not gonna look at it if the title is lame. The titles play a huge role. And it's kind of sad because sometimes I see people who have amazing article. It's really well written and it's interesting, but the title was lame or the artwork was lame. And you have to understand that those are kind of like your front door. Like imagine you're driving through a neighborhood and there's all these houses for sale and suddenly you see the house of your dreams. And you're like, I have to go there. That's the house I want to look at. Why? Because of the exterior. You don't know how the inside looks yet. So think of that as social media. People are scrolling and they're overwhelmed with all these things in the search results or whatever they're looking at in their feed. And then they see something that stops them. What is going to stop them? Well, the exterior, of course. So, what is your exterior in your social media? It's your image and your title. And that's pretty much it because they don't know anything else. So, make sure you take good care. There is a tool that I like for titles. It's called Co-Scheduler, and it helps you kind of tweak your title and gives it a rating so you can even improve your titles. So check that out. You can also use keyword tools to work on your title like SME Rush or Keywords Everywhere, and that will help you get an even better title that will be searchable and interesting. And the last thing I want to talk about now is your hashtags. So how do you get found? If you want to trigger the algorithm, use hashtags. You need to first do some hashtag research and find out what are big hashtags, what are more niche hashtags. And I like to play with them. I never just use the same ones every post or every video. I like to figure out like, okay, let me play with them in these different settings and see what gets more reach. So I highly encourage you to have a hashtag list. Know which are the big ones that are followed by more than 1 million people, which are the medium size, and which are like the small ones. And then play around with it and definitely limit it. So you can read up on each platform, but the limit is typically between 3 and 9 hashtags. So you don't want to have 20 hashtags. That's just not going to help your brand. After a certain number, it actually starts hurting your brand. So don't put just unlimited number of hashtags. And the last thing I would say to trigger the algorithm is to get more eyeballs on it. So send it out to your friends, reshare it in groups, distribute it on other social media channels. So if you have a video on YouTube, why don't you go off to several channels and talk about it and say, I've got a whole video over on YouTube, and link it, so that they can go watch the video here. So bring people here from other channels. If you just post something on one channel and you're like, that's good, it's probably not going to work. So figure out where else you can promote it to get more eyeballs on the content. And if you do that, those are enough algorithm hacks. There are definitely some amazing courses out there. So for example, YouTube, there's a ton of content creators who specialize in teaching you how to create YouTube videos and how to grow your channel. Same thing for Instagram, same thing for all the platforms actually. So once you niche down and these are the 3 top channels that I love and I love to produce content for, I recommend you investing in a course or a coach or binge watching some good videos about those algorithms so that you know everything there is to know about Instagram or YouTube, because we're never good enough. There's always going to be something that I can do better and that will get more views for me. But the point of this video, screw the algorithm, is to drive it home, guys, that that's not your first problem. So when you start producing content, don't think that you have to start by being a master of that platform. First, be a master of your content, and don't think of your content as a platform dependent thing. Think of it as an independent thing. So your content is something that you own and that you can always repurpose. You can make it smaller, reduce the text, abbreviate it, reorganize it, and put it on all different channels. That's my point. So instead of thinking about, oh, my Instagram or my YouTube or whatever, think of it as, what are the brand messages that I want to get out there to the world? Where are the channels that I want to put this on and distribute it on? And how can I optimize that content for each channel that I want to put it on? Done. That's the way you should be thinking. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give me a like and consider subscribing, because I've got so many more videos about marketing and sales, and I do everything for small business owners and content creators who want to grow their channels, who want to have a following, and most importantly, who want to get known as thought leaders in their field. And I have a whole coaching program on this. So please hang out with me more. And in the meantime, may your coffee be strong, your attitude be sassy, and your bank accounts be full. Take care, guys, and cheers. See you next time.